This ain't the intro, ladies and gentlemen. This is the entree.
You
Or would this
did.
technically be dessert?
Bonus bars.
Bonus bars.
Bonus bars.
Bulls take a big L tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Falling to the Milwaukee Bucks 126-96. Ugh.
Woo!
Ugh.
Gotta get that push into you.
Yeah.
The breath.
I mean, what do you think? What in your opinion was the biggest contributing factor to what we saw from the Chicago Bulls team tonight?
The lack of effort on the defensive end, the non-ability to guard the three. Sometimes, I mean, you knew coming in that Milwaukee was hot. Excuse me, especially from the 3-point line. Very high attempts leading the league,
Right.
and attempts shooting 3-point percentage. All these things. This is not a secret.
It's not something new.
Right.
You should have expected it.
Exactly. So that, and then just not knowing what advantages to take on the offensive end. I think the points in the paint was wide open for you to take advantage of, but we attempted to have a low percentage from the 3-point line and was not able to knock down the three tonight. So it's just, if it's the very popular saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it was broken.
It was broke tonight for sure.
It was time to fix
it. Bulls shot at 30. This don't even seem right. Bulls put up 87 shots tonight.
Wowzers.
Made 38 of 87 shots tonight. And just weren't able to get it done. The stat that, of course, and listen, I don't think that Milwaukee dominated you throughout the entire game, but the spot where they did dominate you was the 3-point line. The Milwaukee able to knock down 22 of 45 3-pointers tonight. And really, they could have ended the game 50% if not for a last-ditch 3-point shot by them. But just really bad all-around play defensively. I mean, you saw what they were doing to you in the first half, and you didn't make it. It seemed like Billy made an effort to make an adjustment on them.
Right.
But the players at a certain point seemed like they were just like, I'm kind of out of it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the part that scares you. That's the part that scares you when the players start to get out of it. If you're in the live right now, please like the video, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports weekly. We don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. Bulls tonight, looking at the lineup, didn't have a good shooting night from anybody. Otto Porter, 9 points on 3 of 11 shooting. Pat Will, 4 of 11 on 8 points. Kobe White, 4 for 13, 12 points. Zach LaVine, 7 of 16, not terrible, on 16 points. Wendell Carter had a pretty good shooting night, actually, 5 of 7, but only for 12 points. Thad Young, 2 of 5 for 6. Denzel Valentine, 5 of 8 for 14 points. Garrett Temple, 2 of 3 for 4. And Daniel Gafford, 2 for 2, 5 points in the game. What do you think this Bulls team right now is missing? I understand. Listen, it's the second of a back-to-back. It's the it is a game where you're missing a ton of your players due to COVID-19, a game where you're missing a ton of your players due to other injuries as well. And so the question really becomes, is this just a one-night kind of thing? Is this just a coincidence? Is this the second of a back-to-back? Or this is the third blowout we've seen from this team this season to teams that don't have, the teams that are playoff caliber teams. Milwaukee hasn't been playing at that level, but they are a playoff caliber team. We all know that.
Right. I mean, again, like you said, Milwaukee is no slouch. However, I think the next game they'll get some rest.
Yeah.
Billy Donovan will definitely have them looking at this tape, look at the tape, and just take in the information, make adjustments, and come in better. The way that you show me that you took this as a learning lesson is by coming in and making those improvements on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And I think the key to this Bulls team getting to that next step, getting to that next level, is to learn from these experiences. These are gonna come. This is a young team. This is and if you're alive, throw your comments in the chat. We're gonna throw some of those up as well. Baki and Alive, good to see you back, my boy.
Yo, what up, Baki?
Baki says lack of effort and energy, but in my opinion, those are a part of bad habits they've grown throughout the Hoiberg-Boylan era and Garpax regime. It's going to take Billy and his staff time to fix this. And I'm willing. I don't want it to seem like I'm not willing to give this staff time. I don't want it to seem like I'm not willing to give this staff the time they need to do what they have to do. There's going to be some growing pains. And this comes with growing pains. Right now, we're playing a playoff caliber team, a championship, arguably caliber team, and they showed you why they can put it on you tonight. Definitely. But you have to be more consistent as a whole. You have to be more consistent as a whole, and the Bulls on no side of the ball were consistent tonight. And I think that's the most glaring thing to me. You know what I'm saying? I understand if you're coming off the second of a back-to-back, but you're able to play with your identity. You're coming off the second of a back-to-back, but you're able to play with your identity, the thing that you do. Right now, the Bulls don't have an identity. They don't have that thing that they do best, and they really displayed nothing tonight that shows me otherwise.
Yeah, it's and it was pointed out during the game, but you could definitely see the lack or evidence of lack of communication on both ends.
Yeah, and that's big for sure.
Defensively, like the picks are not being called out. Like those are glaring things, especially when you're getting blown out.
Yeah.
It's not just okay, cool. Not only is Milwaukee going off from three, but you're compounding that fact by having a poor defensive effort as well as just bad habits. You have to call out picks. You have to know whether you're switching, going under and over screens, things like this. You have to discuss it with your teammates on the floor, know what you have to do, and that was a big issue on the defensive end. On the offensive end, it was a lack thereof of adjustments again.
Mm-hmm.
The driving kick was not working. So either you could see that they were not spreading the floor, but as well as they're throwing, we have turnovers and indecisiveness. We don't know whether picks are being set or whether passes are going to be attempted. Then we're getting into the offense late into the shot clock, so that elevates the possibility for another turnover. So high turnover rate, no offense being ran. It's just, like I said, it's no communication.
And here's something, and you can tell this is a team that's still learning. You can tell this is a team that you're trying to teach things from by this statement here. Billy Donovan said, because listen, when I think we all were a little surprised when you started this game and you came out and Patrick Williams was guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're like, okay, listen, we know the rookie's coming in. He's got that defensive label on him, but Giannis, my dog. Right. He ain't even been in the weight room really because of COVID. Like, Giannis, this is what you want to do? Exactly. Here's Billy Donovan's comments on that. Thought that the matchup would be good experience for him. Patrick can evolve into a two-way player for us, and the only way to get that experience is to be thrust into it immediately. He's trying to teach these players to become something they are not right now. And you're gonna see those growing pains. You are going to see, and I like what Real JOF said here. Another reason we lost because we didn't have Sato playmaking off the bench, and so the ball distribution was terrible. Yes, there was a lack of ball distribution. There was a lack of discipline, and I think that there's a lot of things this team still needs to learn. Definitely. They got into there. Let's go in. Let's drive and kick. Let's drive and kick. Let's drive and kick. And the drive and kick continually did not work. But they continued to go to that driving kick. And I think that having a more veteran player out there to teach these guys, to show these guys what it is something that they need, which is why Billy trusts the veterans on this team. He's teaching this team.
Definitely.
As crazy as it is, he is teaching this team.
And again, it's about their effort, like as he mentioned before.
Yeah. Now, I'll ask you on the big man battle. We had the conversation pregame on who should start, Gafford or Wendell. We saw that on the Chicago Bulls Twitter. By the way, follow us both on Twitter. I am at Pat the Designer. He is at Mr. Two Letters.
Yes,
You can follow me at everything on that. Wendell's played well.
Yes.
Wendell has played not good, but solid. Wendell tonight had 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists on 5 of 7 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3-point line. Here's my question to you. And here's my question that we kind of talked about during the live. If you guys weren't in the live, you can check that out. That we kind of talked about during the live is Wendell giving enough on the defensive end? Is he giving you that defensive intensity on the defensive end? Is he being that defensive anchor that this Chicago Bulls team needs on that defensive end? Because I think we saw Gafford. Gafford did not have nearly as good of a game. Only 5 points in 15 minutes of play, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. That's kind of what you're going to expect in a 15-minute kind of spurt. I mean, he kind of jumped off in the last game, but pretty much that's what we're going to expect in a 15-minute spurt. But on the defensive end, 2 steals, 1 block once again.
Dang.
When he's given that time, he's trying to be an impact on the defensive end. And so the question becomes, is it more important to have that defensive anchor out there or a Wendell Carter Jr. who seems to be more of the finesse kind of guy, more of the scorer?
Like I said, I probably believe more now than I did before this game that I want to see a lineup with them both in the game. Yeah. That way we get the best of both worlds. Gafford can be the anchor in the paint, and Wendell.
Is Gafford smooth enough to play that 4 position? Is he a Thad Young, Al Horford kind of guy? Out of them two, Gafford 6'10".
Okay, I want Gafford at the 5 and Wendell at the 4. I would like to see that because Wendell tends to. His natural reaction is to be a stretch 4 and guard other stretch 4s. Okay,
right.
Like he tends to want to get out on the perimeter and guard or throw a hand up instead of really kind of be a body and like you said, a solid anchor down there in the paint.
Yeah.
Now, can anybody just come in there and abuse Wendell? No. Like he is.
I think he could body up 4s better than he has the 5s.
Yeah. Definitely.
Giannis is a different beast though. Like nobody's bodying up Giannis, right. But I mean, Giannis kind of bullied him out of the way a lot of times. I think that I can't say that Wendell. Like I see people in the chat. I see people on the videos comment. We need to get rid of Wendell. We have to get rid of Wendell. Trade Wendell. He's not what we need. He might not be what we need at the 5. But I'm going to be honest with you, and I would like to see kind of the compare and contrast. Especially when we have our starters back in. But I think of those Washington Wizards games, the offense did move better without Lowry on the floor. The offense did move better without Larry Markkinen on the floor. And so, like I said, kind of in the pregame, kind of during the game, like you just said, I would like to see what Wendell can bring at that 4, and if you have that defensive anchor at the 5. Because listen, if Wendell's just a man, like he's an okay defender at the 4, that's okay. But right now, we're unable to come away with those rebounds, those offensive rebounds, those defensive rebounds, and we're giving up a lot of second chance points here. And so I want to see what you can do with both of them in the game if that improves you defensively. But here's the difference. You got to force guys off of the 3-point line.
Definitely. And I think even like the key to defending Giannis is to attempt to bully him. Like you cannot be intimidated by his size only. Like I know we were joking about it, but like I said, it's a 242. But you have to put a body on him and make him work on the other end. Yeah. In games against other premier teams, when Giannis has to work harder, the team tends to labor along with him. So I just think like you said, I think a Gabbert probably would have benefited the team a lot more, kind of with just his presence, more attitude. Like I said, he shows his personality where this is my paint, you're not really coming in there. Pat Will really got like this was his welcome to the NBA. Like,
you're gonna be the guy that's guarding the best player night in and night out. Learn how to do it.
Right, exactly.
And I think more times than not, what we saw from Pat Will guarding Giannis was he was in the right position. Mm-hmm. He was set up right. He was there to make the play. But Giannis is 242 pounds with maybe 2% body fat, maybe. Right. Yeah, that's a big boy. It's a big boy coming through there. So you can be in the best position in the world. There was one time we saw him just in the paint, and Giannis just bumped him out the way, and Pat Will just fell over.
It's different. He got. I mean, it's one of the things where you don't know what it is to you in there. He got thrown in the deep end tonight. I think it was rightly so. I think a lot of learning got done tonight.
Yeah,
definitely out of multiple positions. But it's like if we got to, it's still no excuse. If Giannis get off, he get off. He the MVP. Okay, I'm cool with that. But what about the others? So like, how we still there was a lack of defense on the 3-point line. Again, we are not high on offensive rebounds. We are not high on rebounds in general.
right.
Those need to improve, especially if we want to allow the shooters to shoot. If Zach is gonna shoot, if Kobe is gonna shoot, if Pat Wells is gonna shoot, somebody needs to be in there to rebound. That's why I say like if in an offensive set where Wendell is probably gonna fan out to maybe get open for a three or a low key just kind of seek a shot that he's comfortable with.
Yeah,
We need somebody down there to rebound because our others are not getting down there in a mud trying to box out and get a rebound. Nobody's just gonna do it if it's not Gabbert or Wendell. So that has to be figured out.
I think the Bulls defense has to improve as a whole as well. Like we can talk about Wendell's defense. We can talk about, Gafford's defense and how they change things. One, the team that we had tonight is not the team that we've seen when the Bulls were winning it. We didn't see like how Sato was able to run the game. We didn't see how the offense was flowing. And listen, when a team is just all pretty much dominating you on the other end and you're not knocking down your shots, your defense is going to look worse as well. But the big thing to me, the key thing to me that we are seeing is that you're not giving your bigs an opportunity to be bigs. I think it's something that we got to focus on too. Listen, when you allow guys to shoot threes all day, why would I go in the paint?
Exactly.
Why would I go in the paint? Our guards have to be getting up, have to be running them off of the 3-point line and sending them in. And I'm not seeing that effort. I didn't see that effort. I was applauding Zach for when the moment was biggest at the end of the game. Zach LaVine was attacking Russell Westbrook defensively.
Yes.
In this game, I didn't see that effort from him. I mean, it seemed like they didn't know where people were defensively, didn't know where people were supposed to be, didn't know whether he was supposed to take the shooter, whether Kobe's taking the shooter or Zach's taking the shooter, or is it Thad taking the shooter, and they're all getting stuck in the same spot. And so we have to figure that out. We have to get like you said, the communication on both ends of the floor. The communication has to be better. And the if you want your big man to be big men, you want your big man to be shot blockers, send that man in the paint.
Right.
Because if I can stand out there and shoot threes all day, why the heck am I going to go down there where the dude with a 7'6" wingspan is?
Exactly. And it's like you said, you saw it's the contrast of two different teams. Milwaukee came in there very sure of how they were going to play the game offensively, very sure of how they were going to play defense, communicating. The shooters were getting open. Giannis was dominating in the areas that he is able to, being the reigning MVP. So
did they focus too much on Giannis?
No, I don't think they focused enough. There was no.
I think
there
was
no attempt at a double team or anything.
I think you let him do what he's going to do, and you try to stop the shooters.
Yeah, he didn't really get to Milwaukee's credit, which is the only credit you're going to get.
Giannis took 5 3-pointers, by the way.
Right.
He only hit 1, but he took 5.
They are getting more contributions. Like they're playing with more balance as long as the scoring is more distributed amongst their players. It's not all Giannis and a little bit of everybody else. You're getting an equal or a middling amount, a balanced scoring effort from all of their players, especially from the 3-point line.
And what makes Giannis even more deadly is that Chris Middleton, 2 for 2 from 3. Drew Holiday, 3 for 6 from 3. DiVincenzo, 3 for 4 from 3. Brook Lopez, 3. That's what makes him deadly. Yeah. If you slow those guys down, and the Bulls did not do a good enough job at that tonight. If you're able to slow those guys down, and you can slow down a Chris Middleton, you can slow down a Giannis or a DiVincenzo.
Right.
You can slow down a Brook Lopez. If you slow those guys down, now Giannis is the only one killing you. Giannis got to go for 60. I'm not saying that he can't, but if Giannis goes for 60, guess what? Why did we get beat? Because Giannis went for 60.
Right.
Don't get beat by it's like we said in the game that the Bulls lost to the Warriors. You can let anybody on this court shoot but Steph. You can let anybody on this court. Don't get beat by the guy that you know is going to do it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like Giannis has to put up 60 to beat you if you slow down Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, and DiVincenzo. That's a very different game. And the Bucks did not play a great game outside of the three-point line. Like I said, in the paint, they did okay.
The paint was to be had.
The paint was there to be had.
But it didn't work out like that. I think the interesting part early on in the game, Brook being a stretch five.
Yeah.
That threw I don't want to say it kind of threw the Bulls for a loop where it's like, okay, so where am I to be? Are we gonna make a concerted effort to guard the three? Well, I can't because then Giannis starts driving to the paint and then drawing fouls. So they were stuck in the middle. You have to make a decision and stick to it.
I think and I think that is a good thing that we need to see and a good point we need to bring up, because do we have that guy who can facilitate this? On 96 points tonight, the Bulls have 18 assists. 18 assists. On 96 points tonight, the Bulls have 18 assists.
Wow.
A lot of one-on-one. Who's the guy that can set this thing up? We saw it as Sato. We saw a little bit of Garrett Temple. But who's the guy who can set this thing up?
Right now, it's
because it doesn't seem like it's Kobe White.
Yeah, it's going to be by committee. It seems like we need to dodge the COVID bug. Obviously, but
yeah,
it's obviously more than one way. So one, we want the players to be healthy. Two, Satoransky tends to reset the team by bringing him in. Billy Donovan is reminding everybody else, like, okay, so this offense needs to be ran.
Yeah.
And, Satoransky is the only one. The closest to him is Garrett Temple, but he's new to the team. But Satoransky is the only one who's able to create some type of offensive momentum coming off the bench.
Right.
Or on the, in general. So him backing up Kobe helps Kobe because Kobe can more look to score, and then, okay, cool, here comes Satoransky doing what he isn't naturally doing, which is, okay, I'm going to get my other teammates involved, I'm going to get the bench involved, I'm going to anchor the bench, and then we get a different scoring effort. Because our bench tends to make a large contribution the late half of the first, early second quarter, where in this game, a big lead was built by Milwaukee. So we see the absence of Satoransky tonight was glaring.
Yeah,
it was very glaring.
So and I think that's the thing with this Bulls team that is concerning, because now you have to ask the question: what is Kobe White for this team? What is Kobe White for this team? Because is Kobe White your point guard of the future? It wouldn't seem like that. Is Kobe White your a possible two guard? Is Kobe White a Lou Will for you in the future? It seems like things are leaning more towards that. Now, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. That's the thing. You don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves, because you want this guy to grow. Listen, he's new to this. He's new to this kind of point guard position. You want him to kind of learn it. You want him to figure it out. But maybe he needs to be the one figuring out it under Sato. And I think that you have the kind of lineup where you can shift everybody one spot.
Oh, definitely.
I think you have that kind of lineup where, especially right now, you can have a lineup with Sato. If Sato can get, I don't know if he's has COVID or if he just was around somebody that has it, or if this is just precaution. But you have to you have the kind of lineup where you can say, all right, let's start Sato, Kobe at the 2.
Right.
Zach at the 3, Pat Will at the 4, Wendell or Gafford at the 5, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? You have that kind of lineup where you can throw that out there.
Right.
And so you need to see what you have with Kobe off ball, which we've seen him be better off ball. You need to see what you have with at the point guard position that can legitimately run the point guard position. You know what I'm saying? Or you either have Sato show Kobe how to run this point guard position, how to run this system, and see if he is able to understand that.
Definitely that too. And another instance or spot where the point guard position is so very important, because in instances where something is not working, it is your point guard that is going to come out and be the general to set your half court offense up in a different manner
and calm your team
that
back down.
That wasn't done tonight. Like
right.
we stuck with the drive and kick because that's probably what was on the scouting report. That's probably what's the game plan coming in. But in-game adjustments are important. And maybe tonight's test was whether Billy Donovan was able to see them make or somebody step up, be it Kobe White, to change it up and be a floor general. And let's try to set something up other than this driving kick because it's not working. They see that they're jumping in the passing lanes. We're creating turnovers. Somebody's got to say, okay, let's change it up. Let's do something different. Let's try this, whether it be pick and roll or some other form of the offense that they run. Because we've seen them run any type of two-man game, give and go, pick and roll, whatever. Like we've said on the live stream and said earlier tonight, even the paint was to be had, the mid range was to be had, and they can eat because the jumper is automatic for basically all 5 of our players. It's just up to other teammates to set
that up,
to set
get
that
you in the right
up.
position.
So if the 3 wasn't falling, you got to make adjustments. I don't care what they're doing on the other end. If they score a 3 and you score 0, you're even more behind. Like,
Facts.
Even more behind.
Facts.
Even more behind.
If they score 3 and you score 0, you're even. Okay, I see you with the young bar AD. Let's look ahead to this Dallas Mavericks game real quick. Dallas 2 for 3 right now as well. Although,
and they've come off a big loss too.
Coming off a big loss versus the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball gave them that work, whatever you want it to be. Somewhere. LeVar Ball just got his wings. But
so you gotta get a what's my man's name for Dallas? I can't remember his name right now. They best
Luka?
Yeah, Luka.
Talking about Luka, yeah.
Luka is gonna come in trying to go off.
For sure.
So he plays the 3?
Luka is a
point 3.
He's a point 2, 3, 4. He's whatever you want him to be. You know what I'm saying? You can't go wrong with a Luka Doncic.
I mean, I like Pat Will in that instance.
I think it's a little bit easier. I think it's a little bit easier for Pat Will in that instance when you don't gotta guard Giannis, somebody who's literally pushing you around and moving you out of the way.
All Gafford and Wendell will have to deal with is the gentle giant. What's my man's name? He's really nice. He's probably like everybody says he's like
Boban.
Yeah, Boban.
Yeah, you gotta love Boban.
But he's gonna get rebounds.
Yeah.
So again, like that presents an issue. Like somebody needs to box out.
You got Boban, you got Willie Cauley-Stein down there at the center position. Still no Kristaps Porzingis this season. That's probably gonna be something that we watched a good chunk of the season, I would think. Tim Hardaway, Jalen Brunson, of course, Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson. They got some talent down there, and they're a team that's trying to find their way as well. 2 for 3 right now on the season as well, right? Same record as the Bulls. But you want to see – these are the teams you got to beat. And there's a tough stretch in the beginning, but you're seeing these teams kind of – like you got Giannis in them tonight. You're seeing these teams where they're struggling.
Oh, definitely.
You're getting these teams when they're at their worst. Don't let you be the game that gets them on track.
Exactly.
Don't let you be the game that gets them on track. And I think that I think we'll see a better showing from the Bulls, depending on who the Bulls get back now. It looks like Sato, Arch, and Lowry could all be game time decisions on Sunday as well. C. Hutch will probably still be out because he's tested positive. That's 2 weeks at least. And you feel bad for C. Hutch because the injuries continue.
He was building a little low momentum on the offensive end. So that looked pretty good.
Yeah, the injuries just continue to pile up for him, and this is a sickness that you can't control. But
Yeah. Get your elderberry and and your sea moss. Gotta get.
Excuse me, what'd you say?
Sea moss.
I think on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get up out of here. We appreciate you guys for joining the live. Tune in. We will be doing the live stream Sunday as well. Probably have a video dropping tomorrow. Probably more than likely talking Bulls, but we'll see. Unless some crazy news breaks out tonight. But yeah, Sunday is going to be a long day for me. I'm going to be doing a Bears post-game show as always with the homie P Kid. Y'all tune in for that.
Bears,
Bear Don. We got a little Bears Packers on Sunday. Bear Don 3:15 game. Tune in for that.
Must win.
We will go live after the game for that, and then we'll go live for our play call as well. And then after that, little post-game show just like this. We'll round the day off with that little 3-video day. You can't go wrong with that. Putting in work on a Sunday.
Legit.
Haven't napped in a while.
Recording.
We appreciate you guys for joining the live, man. I'm going to get up out of here. Appreciate AD for pulling up for the call as well. I think y'all enjoy AD on these calls, so we're going to keep them in here more often. We like ESPN out here. SKR Studios just slaving people out like it's – never mind. But
we're Neil Verrett and Stan Everett.
Gotcha.
It's your boy, Pat the Designer, man. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. To continue watching our Bulls content, click the links in the description below.
Peace.